we go now.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Sideline Sports. I am Trevor, your host. This is Alex. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Today, we're talking Giants, and the Buster Posey era is now in full swing, and
Thank
we're coming
God.
up close to reporting to current training camp. We got another month and a half, 2 months to go, but let's talk a little bit about where the Giants are right now. I haven't done a video in quite some time, and it's time to start getting into baseball. So, let's see. Who do we got to talk about first? Let's see. I think let's talk about Luis Mateos first because he is killing it in winter ball. He was a rookie last year that came up and did okay, but kind of fell off towards the end of the year. He's in Venezuela right now. He's batting 300. He's got 10 home runs. He's got 41 RBIs in 51 games. And more impressive, he's only struck out 23 times. So I'm looking for a big bounce back from him. I'm hoping next year that he can come in and help anchor the defense and give some much needed help to the bats right now because the Giants are just dying at the plate right now. They can't seem to get any offensive going. So we need to see that happen. But you mentioned something, Alex, about a pitcher that's out there that could help from the defensive side as well, right?
Yeah, his name is
And it's okay if we butcher it.
Roki Sasaki. No,
Roki's,
I practiced it before.
yeah.
And one of the things they talk about, because San Francisco's got a great Japantown, they've got a great Japanese culture. They're close, even closer than Los Angeles. Although Los Angeles, it's a lot of times Japanese players they want to be close to home. It's just over the pond. Um, and it's
And San
it's not.
Francisco feels like home to a lot of the Asian culture for people who are just coming
Yeah,
from other countries,
yeah.
like Japan and
And
China. So yeah,
And I think it would be, it's a pitcher friendly park. A lot of times it's like, like in football, you think you build from the line out. And for the Giants with a pitcher friendly park, they're always going to build from the pitching staff outward. That's just kind of the way the park is designed.
yeah.
And that would be really good. I mean, I know it's not as sexy as, bombing into the bay, but if you are giving people leads or excuse me, if you're protecting, you're making it so that the offense doesn't have to like make up 5 runs or whatever, then they're able to attack the ball differently. And the pitchers on the opposing teams can't be, they have
They're not
to.
as comfortable, right?
Right,
Because
exactly.
once you have a lead and you're protecting it with a pitcher like that, and he is a battle tested pitcher, so to
Oh
bring
yeah.
him on would be a big upgrade. I would love to see that happen. I mean he's in one of the top he's in the top five there as far as free agents out in the market right now. So I think that would be a great pickup for the Giants. Um, the Giants field is not typically a pitcher friendly park. It is I'd say in left field it is because it's hard to hit a home run out of left field. But right field's a little easier. Either way, it would be great to bring him in. And then the Giants are also in pursuit, I heard, for Pete Alonso. They were
Yeah, that'd be
about a
good.
month ago, and then it got cold. He didn't want to come here. And now there's talks that maybe that might not be completely dead. I'd love to see that happen as well. That'd be two upgrades
Oh yeah.
for the Giants. So
It would
yeah,
address on either side, in terms of pitching and then offense. And um, I think it won't be immediate because if the farm system is in disarray, that's one thing. And also Farhan was a terrible, terrible, terrible hire. Did nothing. We lost out on so many players from Trout from Harper to Otani, like everybody. And if
yeah,
you think about it, it's like when Lynch and Shanahan came, yes, you had Shanahan, but you also had John Lynch. And all of a sudden, the 49ers greats came back. And all of a sudden, people were like, I want to play there because John Lynch was one of the toughest MFers to ever walk the face of the earth, as a
yeah.
linebacker. And
You have
it's,
to be player friendly. You have to
yeah.
have a
And I
guy that
think,
players can really
yeah.
relate to, right?
And
Farhan
Buster Posey's
Zaidi
that
had
guy.
no emotion. He didn't care. He was thinking in numbers. And I'm an A's guy, so I know this firsthand. But what we don't understand is that the person who built the A's was Billy Beane, and he built that team, homegrown talent, bringing them up. He wasn't out there looking for trades because he couldn't. But the point was is that Farhan Zadi was only there to help Billy Beane kind of understand some of the sabermetrics that go along with it. But overall, Beane is the one that created that team out of necessity. When you
Yes.
have a team like the Giants, Farhan Zaidi tried to take that type of mentality to the Giants, but never really grew the homegrown talent that you need. And on
No.
top of that, he didn't have to do that. He
No.
had the best situation where he could have taken the talent that they had, grown it through the draft, also bring in free agent
Yes.
talent. He could have taken what the A's did and made it like a million times better. And that's what the Giants wanted, but the Giants didn't get that from him. He was horrible. He should have been out a year
Yeah.
ago,
Oh, yeah.
but he was given the benefit of the doubt.
Moneyball
Yeah.
works when you have money. That's the secret about it. The best example of Moneyball? The Red Sox. I know in the movie they're like, "Oh, you don't need Johnny Damon, you need runs." And it's like, "Yeah, what that Johnny Damon ever do after getting traded? Oh, he won multiple World Series. Oh, wait."
Yeah, he landed on the right teams. He still
Yeah,
played very well, and he left Oakland knowing that he was going to greener pastures. That's what he wanted. He wanted
60% Moneyball.
Boston. He wanted the Yankees.
Yeah. I mean, he won with the Red Sox. I don't know if he won with the Yankees. I think he did, didn't he?
Yeah,
So he's
yeah,
like
I
what,
think he
two,
got
three
one with the
time
Yankees as well.
champion?
Yep.
So it's sorry to just that, but I think Moneyball is like this. It's 60% when it works. It's 60% Moneyball, 40% landing a slugger or landing a star pitcher with some money. So it's
You
a
have to
little
get
bit, it's not like a
lucky.
half and half.
You
Where the
have to
A's
get
have a
lucky,
one,
man, because the A's got lucky. Look at the pitchers they got. Not
yeah,
only Moneyball works when you don't have to pay some of these players that are worth the money, but it only works for as long as they're under that contract for.
yes,
The A's had Hudson, they had Zito, they had Mulder, but Hudson and Mulder had very successful careers after Oakland when they became too expensive. And Zito, for the better part, did too. He still got a ring, I think, with the Giants. He got two, but he only
I
really
believe he got
participated, I
two,
think, in one.
or maybe it was, yeah, I thought it was two.
I think he participated in the because the first World Series that they were a part of, I
Benched.
think he was left off the roster because he wasn't doing very well. But either way, those
Maybe it
guys
was one.
became too valuable.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, we always joked he made 50 million a game for two games because he was money in the NLCS championship game they had to win. And then
Yeah.
they put him up as the first pitcher against and I will always love saying this, the unhittable Justin Verlander,
Hmm.
as Joe Buck would say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also to our audience, if you don't know that name, it's one of Satan's many names,
Yep.
uh, as Joe
Yep.
Buck is
I was
Satan.
not a Verlander fan even
And
when
yeah,
he was a part of the
and
Tigers.
everyone
So
thought um, that our manager was insane. Bochy was insane for putting Zito up there. That he was going to get destroyed. And Zito pitched the second greatest game of his life,
yeah.
maybe tied. And so you look at that, but they got paid though. The A's won nothing with any of those guys because they didn't get it in that window. The Red Sox did because they took Moneyball and applied money to it. So
Right.
it's, the principles
Exactly.
don't work. It's that you got to have a little sprinkling of money in the mixture,
Yeah.
and that's something the Giants should be doing. And then Farhan goes in and goes, "I'm not going to do that. You're not a small market team.
No.
You're a big market team. You're not even a mid market team. They used to be, but now they're not." And
No.
so you should be getting at least a star or two as an attraction, and then building around it with a good. Obviously, you need a good farm system, but you
Yeah.
need to goose it a bit. It's got to be a place people want to go to. Like I was saying to you off camera, the Warriors, one of the most significant moves the Warriors made wasn't just drafting Clay or Steph or Draymond. It was getting Andre Iguodala and other people going, "Oh, I think I want to go to this Oakland, California."
Yeah.
He
Yeah, you
was
have to
the guy
bring
who
in
said, "Come
talent onto,
here."
and that's where the A's failed miserably in the 3 or 4 years that they had those guys, because the bottom line is that if you did sprinkle a little bit of money on there, you'd have yourself some World Series championships. But the Giants have the opportunity to do that now. They locked in Willie Adams. He got the biggest contract in franchise history, so hopefully he's going to come through and continue to be awesome. They locked in Matt Chapman through 2026 with the option for 2027. So those two guys are locked down. And then they're in pursuit of some free agents that could help along the way too. They're in a good spot to build, but they need to build. They cannot let this offseason get away
Yeah,
and
I like
go
Willie
into the
Adams. I like that
season
signing.
without adding some power here. Yeah.
Yeah, they need more power because if you think about it, I know they built the park for pitching because at the time with the roster, Matt Cain, and Jason Schmidt, it made sense. And Lincecum, like it made sense for that. But
Yeah.
you're sitting there as much. I mean, you look, Gaylord Perry, great. But people are going to the past and they're looking at Willie Mays, they're looking at Barry Bonds, they're looking at Jeff Kent, they're looking at all these, Will Clark, Will the Thrill. You're not
Hmm.
sitting there going, oh, that pitcher who had good metrics. No, you're like, why am I going to the ballpark at Candlestick, getting a Croix de Candlestick, the Purple Heart of being in the upper decks at a night game? Why am I here? Oh, it's because there's Kevin Mitchell. Oh, it's because there's Will Clark. Oh, it's
Yeah.
because there's Barry Bonds. That's why you're going.
Yep.
I mean, and no offense to the pitchers, they're great, and you do need to build them as a backbone and a foundation. But give me a reason to turn the TV on, even if they're bad, and there's a likelihood they're bad for a little bit while they
Yeah.
build. But you know
Yep.
what was nice during the years where they were bad when they had Barry Bonds? They had Barry Bonds.
Yeah. Yeah, they had Barry Bonds and they were still in it to a certain extent. You always believed, just like with the Warriors now, you always believe if you have Steph Curry, you got a shot. We
Yeah,
got Barry Bonds, you got a shot. Now, baseball's different because one player cannot affect the whole game in that respect most times. But watching
no,
Barry Bonds was fun. The question is, will the Giants have to overpay for this talent right off the bat just to get them here to get something rolling?
yes,
In my opinion, you're going to have to overpay these players
and I'm fine
to
with
get
that.
them here.
I'm
So
fine with that. Do
yeah,
it
and I'm
because
fine
you
with
need
it
to
for
send.
now. For
Yeah,
now, once it's a destination location, that's
right, right.
that's different. That's different when it's a place
That
where everybody wants to go. But I would say the Giants are in a good spot to make something happen. They got to make a move, and yeah, Buster Posey is definitely a guy I think a lot of players would love to play under. It's a matter of what it's a matter of his experience and how he's going to take this year and make a big impact right away. He's got to make a move. I think the pressure's on the longer he waits because those guys he's going after, he's lost a couple big names already. But then again, maybe he didn't want to go out there and spend the whole lot on one guy. Maybe
yeah,
he's thinking about it in a different way. I hope he is. And he knows baseball very well. He's a player that's been in the league for a long time, played at an all-star level for many years. So he knows what he's doing a little bit when he sees the talent. So maybe not chasing that talent. I trust him in that. The question is are you going to get that? Are you going to get somebody? Are you going to be able to land somebody before training camp starts? Because once that starts, it's slim pickings at that point. So you got to make a move. You also have the first baseman, Wade Jr. He's been talked about being maybe traded. I don't know who you would replace him at first base with, but I'm assuming you trade to upgrade the first base position and the bat position. Basically, the first base position is a guy who can he's usually your power hitter. He's usually you know, Jason Giambi was a first baseman. I mean, Barry Bonds wasn't, he was an outfielder, but most power hitters are either first base or outfield somewhere in my experience. But either way, you trade that guy, you're going to be looking specifically for a first baseman, I assume, to upgrade. So who knows if that guy gets moved. But um, I think the base of this team going forward is good. You need to add a pitcher. Losing Snell to the Dodgers is unacceptable, and at that point, it's war. They should definitely be looking at picking up the best possible pitcher right now. Because when you lose Snell to the Dodgers, that's a kick in the nuts. That's it. I mean,
Yeah, it takes time to turn around an image of being a place you don't want to go to. So I will. I mean, I'm always going to give a three-time World Series champion and Silver Slugger, like batting leader, all that, all the accolades that Buster Posey has. I mean, he's Curry level money.
yeah,
I'm going to give him a pass almost regardless because he's coming in inheriting this bad reputation that the Giants have had. But I think one, he's going to get somebody. It may not be the exact somebody, but it'll be decent. It'll be good. I don't
yeah,
think he's going to make a bad pick. And I was thinking this as we were talking, you know, it's not just that Buster Posey was a three-time champion and a great hitter when he was healthy. I mean, you look at his numbers, you go, he's not going to get in the Hall of Fame off of that. But he was hurt a bunch, had that brutal injury when he got collided into, which changed the rule about,
yeah,
catchers. But when you look at his stats for that, like, big chunk, he was really good, but also he was a catcher. which
Hmm.
means he's not only going to know and be able to identify good hitting talent, he's going to be able to identify pitching talent. So even if they miss, I'm really hopeful, fingers crossed, that he's able to go down to that farm system and be like, no, 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 yes, yes, no.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
think and it won't you won't see it immediately, but I'll bet you we come back in 2 years on our 2 year anniversary of doing this podcast. And we'll see that the farm system is much better because if you have I mean, in my mind, Giants Hall of Fame, 3 time champion catcher, multiple time Gold Glove winner, that
Yeah.
guy's going to be able to evaluate talent
Oh,
on
it's
both
not just
sides.
the pitching and the hitting too, though. I mean, a catcher needs to know every player, every player's position on that field, third, second, short,
Yep.
first,
Yeah.
outfield, where they're standing for every single batter that comes up to the plate because they need to be
Yeah.
positioned in a place to play defense. And he needs to know that. And he might direct these guys. So him being a catcher and a very good catcher is really important because, I mean, who was the coach for the Giants for many, many years? He's now in Texas, right?
Yeah.
Bochy, what was he? He was a catcher.
Yep.
Catchers make great coaches. They make great GMs because they know exactly
Yeah.
what needs to be at every single position. They know what
Yeah.
they
You're
need.
right.
They know what they don't need. They know what's bad. So yeah, to your point, they're not going to turn into a World Series contender this year,
No.
but they need to make a move so they're not just stagnant, stuck in the mud.
Send a
That's all. Get
message.
a couple of guys that can improve your team. Maybe even at the trade deadline, you might be able to get a couple of guys and just build. And then 2 years from now, you and I might be sitting here going, okay, we're doing a podcast from the World Series parade in downtown San Francisco. We'll see. That would be
I
fun
would
to do.
love that. I really
Yeah.
think it's like I don't know if it's quite like college when they're coming in the door recruiting kids and whatnot. But when you've got Buster Posey, that little baby face, assassin
Yeah.
champion, and he's whining and dining and he like calls up Curry on speed dial. I mean, the people he's going to recruit, the level of goodwill that he has,
Yeah.
and the brain for baseball. It's just you're right. I didn't even think about Bochy being catcher, and he wasn't even like some you know flashy kind of guy when he came into San Francisco. He just quietly went about and went, I can use this better. I can do this better. We can get rid of this.
Yeah.
But Buster Posey is that A-list movie star, babyface looks, that
Totally.
personable kind of guy. In addition to having that talent, so on the one hand, you need to make that big splash. I believe he'll get somebody. It
Yeah.
may not be who we think it is, but he might just go to a Pete Alonso and be like, listen, you can go make more money elsewhere. I'm a 3 time champion. You want to be like me? Come to San
Yeah.
Francisco. And
Exactly.
and he can I think he can do that. He can go to like a Japanese star pitcher and be like, hey, I can, you want to pitch at this park. I'm
Yeah.
a catcher. I know what you need. We will get you what you need.
Yeah. And guess
I,
what
you know,
a ring equals dollar signs. You make
right.
money when you win championships.
He's
So
got that character, like they talk about how you win arguments, but like, pathos, logos,
yeah,
ethos, like your character, the logic you use. He's got that charisma of being that
100%.
guy. He's got
Yes.
that resume that's going to get the phone calls answered, that's going to get the meeting, or the second or third meeting. And be like, yeah, you can go for the Dodgers. Yeah, they've won. I won 3. You can do it here too.
Yeah.
And
And
he's
you can
going to
make your
be,
money.
yeah,
And we can do what the Warriors did. They should take a blueprint from the Warriors. When a player comes in and says, I'm going to get taxed more here, or I'm not going to make as much here, you say, we got 100 startups and a bunch of tech companies here,
yes,
and we'll get you invested in them, and you're going to make more than you would have made on the
yeah,
taxes and the bonuses and everything else that we could offer you based on just how California is screwing you by taking money out of your check. We'll make that back. We'll
that's a
get
very
you
good point.
involved. They did that with
Yeah,
Kevin Durant. They do that with Steph Curry. They
Iguodala.
did
Yeah,
that with everybody they wanted to keep. Andre Iguodala is still doing that.
yeah.
Retired. He's still making money working with tech companies, making
Oh
millions.
yeah, yeah. No, that's a
So
very good point of
yeah,
finding a way around that whole thing. Because if you're going to go to LA, you're facing the same problem. You got Hollywood, but Hollywood's in a free fall. Silicon Valley's got way more money. But yeah, you're right, and I think
yep,
it might take time to turn it around as a destination. But one thing that he will do right away is he's going to go to the spring training. He's going to go to the farm system. He's going to dig his fingers right into it.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if there's a better guy who could do that. And it isn't just that he was a catcher and he can do that. He learned from the guy you mentioned, a great point. He learned from Bochy, who was a catcher. So he already
Yeah.
knows how a catcher manager or a catcher GM would think because his career was made under one of those such people. So he's
100%.
already have a blueprint for how to do it. And maybe
Yep.
hire a manager who's not tanning his balls, you know.
I know. I know. So that's what it is, man. We need to get nose to the grindstone, get all the crap out there, drain the swamp, as we would say, and start building this
Yeah.
team for success. I think we're going to see that with Buster Posey. I think this is just the beginning of something that's going to be great. Fans need to be patient because this team is not going to be a World Series contender this year. Most likely, we never
No.
know. Maybe you never know how they're going to play. Baseball
Yeah.
is one of those sports. Baseball has always been my love. It's been my number one first love as a sport. I've fallen off of it a little bit because I don't like the way it's played nowadays, but
I
I'm
hate the
older.
DH.
And so I look at bunting and base hitting and stealing as things that are essential for baseball. And when it's just home run or strikeout, that's where you start to lose me a little bit. But I think the game is turning a little bit from that away, back to kind of a little bit the way it used to be played. I'm seeing more people stealing. I'm seeing, so we'll see. But anyway, I think our time is up here. So guys, just keep tuning in every Tuesday for Giants updates. And tomorrow, what are we doing tomorrow? I'm gonna look at my special spreadsheet here so I can remember. Tomorrow is A's talk at 11:30. So we'll have Alex back here at 11:30 to talk A's tomorrow. We're going to be doing a lot more Giant shows as baseball starts to ramp up. So for now, it'll be Mondays, but we'll sprinkle in a few more podcasts along the week as we go. Just remember again, please hit the like and subscribe, guys. Thank you for supporting us. And we'll continue on with this. Go Giants. I think they're off to a good start. Buster Posey, let the era begin, and let's go. See you in the next one.